A beautiful morning with gentle sunlight spreading evenly across the road leading to the forest on the western outskirts of Bandung city. Cool breezes blew by, making the air fresh and pleasant. The chirping of birds echoed from the towering treetops, welcoming a beautiful new day. Mr. N's sawing team had an energetic working day when they received a request from the people in the residential area on the western side of the city. They wanted the sawing team to help cut down fallen trees in the forest, turning them into bundles of firewood so that the people could use them as fuel for their stoves in the coming days. Mr. N, the leader of the sawing team, quickly gathered the team and together moved to the suburban area where the people needed help. In the team, besides Mr. N, there were Mr. Hong, Mr. Duk, Mr. Min and some other young members. They were all familiar with the job of trimming trees, working carefully and precisely, but also had many humorous and fun moments. The atmosphere was always relaxed and filled with laughter. When we arrived, the group saw large tree trunks lying around after the storm last season. Although they were dry, they still needed to be cut into small pieces so that the residents in the residential area could easily transport them home. The large tree trunks standing tall in the middle of the natural space looked like pillars toppled by the wind. The gentle sunlight shone through the foliage, creating shimmering streaks of light on the ground. The scene was both majestic and wild, making everyone feel the beauty of nature right before their eyes. Mr. N signaled for everyone to start working. The sound of chainsaws echoed in the air, breaking the silence of the morning. The sawing team divided the work in a rhythmic manner. Mr. Hong and Mr. Min used chainsaws to split the large tree trunks, while the younger members gathered the cut logs into piles and prepared them for the residents to transport. Everyone worked hard but did not forget to exchange cheerful stories to keep the atmosphere lively. While working, Duk started telling a funny story about the first time he used a chainsaw. Back then, when I was just starting out, I was shaking so much that I thought it would jump up and bite me, no joke. Everyone burst into laughter, imagining Duk fumbling with the saw on his first day on the job. And laughed loudly, patted Duk on the shoulder and teased, "But now you're the fastest sawer on the team." Duk's story made the atmosphere even more exciting. Min, who is famous for his sense of humor in the team, did not miss the opportunity to add, if Duk hadn't cut it back then, he would still be waiting for the tree to fall for him to pick up. The whole team laughed again, their laughter mixed with the sound of the chainsaw echoing in the vast forest. As the work continued, Hong recalled a time when he and An were cutting trees in another residential area, when they had to face an extremely stubborn old tree. He said, "We sawed that tree forever but it wouldn't fall. And had to climb up to the tree canopy, swing like Tarzan, sawing from above, but in the end the tree still stood firm." When they finally gave up, the two of them discovered that they had cut the wrong tree. the tree that needed to be cut was right next to them. This story made the whole group laugh out loud, and N could only shake his head and smile. Why tell that embarrassing story, Hong? Although laughter resounded throughout the morning, everyone did not forget their main task. The large tree trunks were gradually cut into small, suitable logs. The bundles of firewood were piled on the ground, looking simple, but it was the effort and diligence of the whole team. Each log was straight and even, ready for the people in the residential area to take home and use. The sunlight gradually changed from gentle in the morning to brighter as the sun climbed higher. The rays of sunlight penetrated the canopy and shone down on the sawing team, creating a scene like a vivid natural painting. At this time, the whole group took a break under the shade of an ancient tree that was still standing in the middle of the forest. Everyone drank water together, wiped their sweat, but no one forgot to continue talking funny stories. Mr. Min told about the time he went to work in a faraway place and came across a rotten tree without knowing it. When he was halfway through the saw, the whole tree fell down like a loaf of bread broken in half. Before I could do anything, the tree fell down faster than I could saw. He laughed out loud when he remembered, and the whole team looked at him with doubtful eyes, not understanding how he could let such an awkward situation happen. After a short break, the work continued. The sound of sawing rang out regularly, mixed with the sound of chatting and discussing. Mr. N's sawing team always worked with professionalism and solidarity. Each person clearly knew their role, making the work smoother and more effective. The dry tree trunks were gradually cut into small pieces. The pile of firewood grew higher and higher. As the sun began to set in the west, the sawing team's work gradually finished. The pile of firewood was ready for the residents in the residential area to use. Mr. N and his teammates cleaned up the tools, checked the areas to make sure everything was safe before leaving. Looking back at the results of the whole working session, everyone felt satisfied. At the end of a happy working day, Mr. N did not forget to remind everyone about tomorrow, another day with new challenges, but also full of promise for new joys. The residents in the residential area would certainly be very grateful to the sawing team for helping them have neat, quality firewood to use for the coming days. The sun gradually set, leaving the sky a brilliant orange color. Mr. N's sawing team cleaned up and left the forest together, bringing with them the laughter that still echoed in the peaceful space of that afternoon.